I was able to say, there we go, now we're recording. I was able to show them that there were people that could vouch for the fact that they had been a part of it. I just, yeah.
It's just a pain. That's my
Yeah,
fear.
I got through it all and I was like,
And you won't do it again. Got it.
we got it this time. I think I heard it say we're recording, so we should be good. Okay, let's shrink this down. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, we can.
Okay, well, it doesn't want to do that for me, so we're just going to work with what we got. Okay, so my presentation is on the power of experiential learning, understanding the neuroscience behind it. So my name is Crystal Jones. I'm a Red Seal certified hairstylist. I'm transitioning into teaching. I've spent a lot of years honing my craft, but what if I told you that the magic of learning isn't confined to textbooks or classrooms? What if the most powerful lessons come from the hands-on experiences we create right in salon chair? So in this presentation, we're going to explore experiential. I'm going to start with a simple rounding question. So actually, here's my intro screen. So I'd like to begin today by acknowledging that I'm presenting to you from the traditional and unceded territory of the Stolo Nation. We live, work, and reside on the lands of the Stolo people who have been stewards of this land for countless generations. I honor their enduring connection to this land and recognize their contributions to our community and culture. The First Peoples' principles of learning guide us to embrace holistic, experiential, and relational learning, recognize the role of context in shaping understanding, value the importance of memory, history, and storytelling. They encourage exploration and creative thinking, and they persevere in developing skills and knowledge. As we learn and develop professionally today, let us strive to honor and integrate Indigenous perspectives and ways of knowing. So let's see. Imagine being back in school, sitting in a classroom, listening to a lecture about plant biology. Now, picture yourself in a lush garden, planting seeds, feeling the texture of the soil between your fingers, and observing tiny shoots emerge from the ground. Which experience do you think will leave a lasting memory or lasting impression? The contrast between traditional lecture-based learning and hands-on experiential learning is profound. Today, we're going to explore the science behind these learning styles and understand how they impact our brains differently, making one far more engaging and effective than the other. When we learn through direct experience, such as planting seeds, we activate multiple senses: touch, sight, smell, and even hearing. This multisensory involvement helps encode memories more robustly. Studies from the Max Planck Institute show that firsthand experiences engage different cognitive processes compared to abstract learning, forming stronger neural connections that make information easier to recall later. Emotions play a critical role in memory retention. Experiential learning often involves activities that evoke strong emotions, whether it's the joy of seeing a plant grow or the satisfaction of solving a problem with your hands. Research published in the Journal of Educational Psychology demonstrates that students who are emotionally engaged in their learning tasks perform better academically and retain material longer. Active learning stimulates the parts of the brain involved in motor activity, decision-making, and problem-solving. When learners physically interact with their environment, these areas become highly active. An article from the Science Daily highlights that students in active learning environments outperform their peers in traditional settings because these methods encourage deeper processing of information and better critical thinking skills. Constructivism in the learning theory is a learning theory that suggests that learners do not passively acquire knowledge through direct instruction. Instead, they construct their understanding through experience and social interaction, integrating new information with their existing knowledge. So what exactly is experiential learning? The Institute for Teaching and Learning at the University of Queensland describes experiential learning as a constructivist learning theory defined by doing. The learner is an active participant in the educational process, and learning is achieved through continuous cycles of inquiry, reflection, analysis, and synthesis. David A. Kolb is an educational theorist and psychologist who is best known for his learning theory, experiential learning. He describes this theory as a process where knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. This means that by actively engaging in activities and reflecting on those actions, learners can better understand and retain the information. It's about moving beyond the textbooks and lectures to create real-world experiences that stick. Engagement and experiential learning start with active engagement, where individuals actively participate in an activity or encounter a real-world situation. The experience is then followed by observation and reflection, where learners assess and critically think about what happened. The next step is conceptualization, where they form theories of generalizations based on their reflections. Finally, the learning process moves to experimentation, where learners apply their new concepts in practical scenarios to test and refine their understanding. This cyclical process ensures that engagement is not just about doing, but also about reflecting, theorizing, and applying, leading to a deeper and more effective learning experience. Engagement with the activities. In a class, engagement begins with capturing students' interests and motivating them to participate actively. This could involve starting with a demonstration or introducing a new technique or trend that excites them. Next is complete experience. Following active engagement, students immerse themselves in hands-on activities such as cutting, coloring, or styling hair. They practice new techniques on mannequins or classmates. Gaining practical experience, this step provides them with direct tactile involvement needed to understand and apply the techniques they have been introduced to. Observation and reflection. After completing hands-on activities, students observe their results and those of their peers. They reflect on the outcomes, assessing aspects such as technique, precision, and overall effectiveness. This might include group discussions or self-assessment to identify what worked well and what could be improved upon. Visualization. From their observations, students develop a deeper understanding of the principles and theories behind the technique they used. They learn about the science of hair care, color theory, and different cutting techniques. This conceptualization helps them grasp why certain methods are effective and how they can be applied in various scenarios. Experimentation. With the new knowledge, students experiment by trying out different techniques, products, and styles. They apply their conceptual understanding to new challenges, adjusting their methods based on feedback and results. This experimentation phase allows them to refine their skills and explore creative solutions. By following a sequence, students engage actively, gain hands-on experience, reflect critically, and understand underlying concepts, and experiment to perfect their skills. So let's bring this all to life by looking at how experiential learning looks in an actual hairdressing classroom. Imagine a hair classroom, a bustling mini salon where students not only learn theory, but apply their skills in real-time hands-on experience. In our classroom, we invite volunteers from the community to receive haircuts, styling, and consultations from our students. This isn't just practice, this is real-world experience. Students take on the role of a professional hairdresser responsible for every aspect of the service from start to finish. This immersive environment builds their technical skills and boosts their confidence. So let me take you through a typical day. Our students begin with a consultation, a critical step where they learn to understand and meet clients' needs. Picture Emma, one of our students, asking Ava, her partner, about her preferences. What kind of style are you thinking of for your haircut? Ava responds, I want something easy to maintain, maybe a bob with layers. Emma follows up with, do you use any particular products? And how much time do you spend on your hair each day? These questions help Emma tailor her service, ensuring it fits Ava's lifestyle. Throughout this process, I'm there to guide and support as the instructor. Mistakes become learning opportunities, and every session ends with a debriefing where we discuss what went well and what could be improved upon. This reflection is vital. It's where the theoretical knowledge meets practical application, creating a powerful learning loop. Assessment in this model is holistic. We evaluate not just technical proficiency, but also communication skills, client interaction, and the ability to reflect and grow from feedback. This comprehensive approach ensures our students are not just competent hairdressers, but also confident professionals ready for the demands of the industry. By embedding real client interactions and reflective practice into our curriculum, we create a dynamic, engaging, and effective learning environment. Students don't just learn, they experience, adapt, and excel. So now that we've explored the foundations of experiential learning and its practical applications, let's explore the neuroscience behind this learning theory. Let's look at what happens inside our brains during these learning experiences. By understanding the biological processes at play, we can better appreciate why experiential learning is so effective and how it can harness its power to enhance adult education. In this section, we will explore the critical stages of sensory input and processing, memory formation, reflection, decision-making, and neuroplasticity. We will look at how these elements come together to create meaningful and lasting learning experiences. Let's start by looking at how our brains process sensory input. We have to take subtleties of our surroundings for granted, not fully aware of the sights, sounds, and smells that fill our environment. Yet our brains are constantly at work processing signals from our eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and skin. This intricate sensory processing enables us to seamlessly navigate and interact with the world around us. But how does this information get from our sensory organs to our brains? The answer lies in our nervous system. The nervous system is an organ that allows us to sense and respond to our environment. The nervous system contains specialized cells and cell parts called sensory receptors that allow us to pick up signals from our environment. These signals are called stimuli or stimulus if you're talking about just one. Stimuli can come in many different forms. For example, there are mechanical stimuli, which involves our sense of touch and hearing. Imagine playing a guitar. You can feel the strings beneath your fingers and you can hear the notes that you're playing. Next, we have chemical stimuli, which trigger your senses of smell and taste. Imagine eating a bowl of soup. The molecules in the soup interact with your taste buds, and olfactory receptors send signals to your brain that let you know that the food is delicious. Finally, electromagnetic stimuli relate to our sense of sight. Imagine stepping outside on a sunny day where the intense light makes you reach for your sunglasses, or driving down the road and easily recognizing the red of a stop sign or the green of a traffic light. When sensory receptors detect information, they transmit it through nerve cells to the brain. The brain then processes this information, triggers a response, and stores it as a memory for future reference. Think of it as a relay race. Sensory receptors pick up a stimulus, pass it to the nerves, which then deliver it to the brain. The race ends with the brain responding to the stimulus and saving the information for later use. Memory formation is a complex and fascinating process, with the hippocampus playing a crucial role. Located deep within the temporal lobe, the hippocampus is essential for consolidating new memories, helping us retain and stabilize them over time. This brain structure is also vital for spatial navigation, enabling us to create cognitive maps of our surroundings. Furthermore, the hippocampus is significantly affected by conditions like Alzheimer's disease, which leads to severe memory loss and neurodegeneration. Understanding the hippocampus's role in memory formation provides valuable insights into how we navigate and comprehend the world. The processing information within the hippocampus follows a specialized pathway known as the trisynaptic circuit. It begins with sensory input, which is initially received by the entorhinal cortex. This region acts as a gateway, channeling sensory information into the hippocampus. From there, the information is transmitted to your denti gyrus, where it undergoes preliminary processing. The processed information then moves to the CA3 region, which plays a critical role in integrating and further processing the data. Next, the information flows to the CA1 region, where it is refined and prepared for final processing. The subiculum is the last stop within the hippocampus, where the information is fully processed before being sent to the brain for long-term storage. When we need to recall a memory, this flow of information is reversed, allowing us to retrieve the stored data efficiently. This intricate pathway highlights the complexity of the hippocampus and transforming sensory input into lasting memory. Reflection and decision-making. When we make decisions, our brains rely on two distinct systems. The reflective system is our logical and analytical side, carefully weighing options and deliberating outcomes. This system is controlled by our prefrontal cortex. In contrast, the reactive system is quick and intuitive, driven by emotions and established habits. Understanding these processes offer insight into how we navigate choices in our daily lives. This system is controlled by our basal ganglia and our amygdala. The decision-making process begins with sensory input. This sensory information is then sent to the prefrontal cortex, where it is reflected upon and various options are evaluated. The hippocampus plays a crucial role in memory retrieval, providing the prefrontal cortex with relevant past experiences and knowledge. The prefrontal cortex then integrates this new information with past experiences, aiding and forming a well-informed decision. Once a decision is made, the motor cortex is engaged to execute the action based on this decision. This intricate flow of information highlights how sensory input, memory retrieval, and reflection and evaluation converge to guide our actions effectively. Neuroplasticity. Imagine a brain that is not a static, unchangeable organ, but a dynamic, evolving marvel of adaptability. Neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life, is a testament to this astonishing capacity. According to the Ruby Hall Clinic, neuroplasticity enables the brain to adapt to new experiences, learn new skills, and recover from injury. This remarkable adaptability underscores how our experiences and efforts can fundamentally shape the way that our brain functions, paving the way for profound professional growth and recovery. When we engage in new experiences or learning activities, our brain undergoes a fascinating transformation. It starts with neural activation, where specific neurons are triggered to respond to new input. This activation leads to synaptic changes, where new synapses forms and existing ones become stronger. As these connections evolve, we see structural changes in the brain, such as increased dendritic branching and alterations in the cortical maps that represent different functions. Finally, these changes culminate in a functional improvement, resulting in enhanced efficiency and performance in tasks that we practice. This process not only underscores the brain's adaptability, but also highlights how our actions and learning can physically shape the neural landscape. Experiential learning begins with sensory input. The information is then transferred to the hippocampus, where it is crucial for integrating new experience with existing knowledge. The prefrontal cortex plays a role in reflecting on this information, evaluating, and making decisions based on it. Through synaptic plasticity, the brain strengthens conditions between neurons, which is further enhanced by long-term potentiation, a process that increases the efficiency of synaptic transmission. These processes contribute to skills consolidation and memory formation, leading to behavioral changes and learning improvements. As new experiences are continuously integrated, the cycle of experiential learning repeats, reinforcing and refining skills over time. This ongoing loop underscores how interactions with the environment continuously shape and improve our learning and behavior. Experiential learning engages multiple areas of the brain, creating a powerful and dynamic process that enhances learning and development. Through the sensory cortex, we process hands-on experience. The hippocampus forms and stores new memories. The prefrontal cortex reflects on these experiences and integrates them with existing knowledge. Synaptic plasticity, facilitated by the motor cortex, strengthens neural connections. Albert Einstein, we often envision an architect of genius, a man whose mind revolutionized our understanding of the universe. But what if I told you that the secrets to Einstein's brilliance lie not just in his theories, but the way he learned? Einstein once said that the only source of knowledge is experience. This simple yet profound belief aligns perfectly with what we now understand about experiential learning and its impact on the brain. Experiential learning at its core involves engaging in activities that require active participation, reflection, and application. Neuroscientists have discovered that this form of learning stimulates various regions of the brain, enhancing neural connections and plasticity. When we learn by doing, our brains encode information more deeply and robustly. This process involves the hippocampus, responsible for memory formation, and the prefrontal cortex, crucial for decision-making and problem-solving. Remarkably, studies of Einstein's brain post-mortem revealed a higher density of neurons and glial cells in regions associated with complex thinking and spatial reasoning. These findings suggest that Einstein's brain was uniquely wired for the type of deep experiential learning he championed. His active engagement in thought experiments and hands-on problem-solving contributed to these neural enhancements. Active learning reshapes neural pathways, fostering creativity and critical thinking when we immerse ourselves in experience, whether solving a mathematical problem, conducting a scientific experiment, or engaging in a complex simulation. We activate multiple brain regions. This multisensory engagement strengthens synaptic connections, making our brains more effective and versatile. Experiential learning does not teach us facts. It transforms the architecture of our brains. It molds us into better thinkers, more adept problem solvers, and lifelong learners. Albert Einstein's life and subsequent study of his brain offer compelling evidence for the power of experiential learning. By embracing this approach, we can unlock our potential and not just acquire knowledge, but to innovate and think beyond conventional boundaries. Let's take a page from Einstein's book and prioritize learning through experience. To wrap up today's exploration into integrating theory with practice, I want to leave you with a powerful call to action. Let's embrace the whole learner. Imagine a learning environment where every student's unique background and experiences are valued and integrated into the teaching process. By embracing the whole learner, we unlock their full potential and make learning deeply personal and impactful. Also, emotional and cognitive engagement. Think about the most memorable learning experience you've had. They likely challenged you intellectually and touched you emotionally. Create learning environments that do the same, where the heart and mind are both engaged, and you'll see profound growth and connection. Active and reflective learning. Move beyond traditional lectures. Incorporate hands-on activities, lively discussions, and reflective practices. These methods don't just teach, they inspire, engage, and foster a love for learning that lasts. Build supportive learning communities. Envision a classroom where collaboration and mutual support are the norms. By building supportive learning communities, we enhance not just the educational experience, but the sense of belonging and shared purpose among learners. Commit to continuous improvement. Lastly, commit to being a lifelong learner yourself. Continually refine your practices based on new research and feedback. Embrace the journey of growth and improvement, and you'll inspire others to do the same. One of my favorite sayings, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So here are a list of my references. Let's work together to create more meaningful, effective, and engaging learning experiences that truly make a difference. I appreciate your participation today and encourage you to ask any questions that you may have at the end of this session. Thank you for joining me today. Oh,
Can I ask?
hold on one second. Let me just. Oh no, did I lose you guys? Oh, no.
No, I'm here. I can hear you.
Oh, there you are. I think I just had, there we go.
Awesome. First of all, congratulations, you're done.
Yay. I don't think I made the 25-minute mark though. I think I was a few seconds short.
I think you were.
I think you're there. I think we started at 105 maybe. Right now it's 131. So
Bambalam.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
And beyond. Just kept on running. So that was awesome. I have a couple of questions. First of all, one comment. I really appreciate your acknowledgement. I'm really trying to switch it up so it become very like uniform and something that we have to get through, but it's thoughtful. And I really,
Yes.
I'm actually going to watch your recording again and go over exactly what you said, because it was a lot of information coming at you.
Right.
And I really appreciate it because it makes it, it shakes it up. And I'm looking for ways to do that without like finding that line, you know, and I really feel that effectively. So I if you wanted to speak on that a little bit, I'd be really curious.
Yeah, for sure. I had actually at the very beginning of the PI, I'm almost at the end of it now. This is my last course, and then I do my capstone. So at the very beginning of this whole process, I started researching what the land acknowledgement actually means. Like, why do we do this land acknowledgement? And when you're doing a presentation like this, it really, I feel like sometimes we do it out of obligation because we feel like other people have done it, so we should do it. And I wanted to look into it more. So I did a bit more research. And one of the things that I found was that if you're going to do a land acknowledgement, it should connect to whatever it is that you're speaking on. So, today's presentation was about education. And so I wanted to make that connection between the First Peoples' beliefs of education along with us educating, right? So it's always trying to make that connection to the Indigenous beliefs, to whatever it is that we're doing or presenting in that acknowledgement. So that's sort of my little tidbit out of this whole experience. So now whenever I do decide to do a land acknowledgement, I take the time to actually research and connect the two, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Didn't know that tidbit that's actually
Yeah.
make it more meaningful. Awesome.
Yeah.
The secondary, I wanted to ask about your pictures. They're phenomenal.
Thank you. Most of them are all of me, actually, which was kind of a bit weird and kind of vain to put in there, but it's all my work through students, like having students in the salon and working with junior stylists. So it's all actually professional photos that were done for us in our salon environment. So
awesome. And then the pictures of the brain and the head and
that's
such.
all off of the PowerPoint. That was all part of the PowerPoint presentations. Yeah.
Really helpful. Nice.
Yeah.
And then I've always started with like a quote and a hook. And I really
Right.
like that you kind of turned it on its head and like finished up with a quote. So it's like the lasting thing.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So yeah, those are the questions that I had. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to say a few things and ask a few questions as well. Yeah, thank you so much, Crystal, for that very engaging presentation. I actually just started this course, so it's great to see a fantastic example right off the bat. And I really enjoyed the last few slides with your call to action to really, yeah, get us to think about these questions. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm just curious about maybe your opinion on what is the most challenging part of like incorporating experiential learning in your practice. I'm just curious.
I don't know if it's really super challenging in my environment because our world when we're teaching is so hands-on. There isn't really a way to teach hairdressing through lecturing. They have to actually physically get in there and do the work themselves in order to learn it. Initially, yes, they're looking at a slide, they're seeing, maybe a demonstration or a presentation video, or we're doing an actual demonstration that they're watching. But ultimately, as soon as that's done, they're going to their stations, they're working on mannequin heads, they're getting in there and doing it. And it's hard sometimes to stand back and be like, just let them go through it, let them make the mistakes, because that's how they're going to learn, right? So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Yeah, thank you. And
Crystal,
then,
sorry, go. Yes.
oh, sorry. Oh, go ahead, Tara. Yeah, I was gonna ask something else as well.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
okay. Um, uh, just as a new, I guess, student in this course, I was curious, how many hours did it take you to prepare on this
For this
presentation?
presentation, this has been a long one. I've been putting in a lot of hours for this.
No,
Pretty much
okay.
the whole, I mean, I started at the beginning of July. I started the course at the beginning of July. I'm pretty much like at the 6 or 7 week mark, and it has
Okay.
taken most of this time to prepare and research and get this all put together. This was a very, very big presentation. This is definitely, in my opinion, the biggest one I've done so far in the course.
Oh, okay. That's good
Yeah.
to know. And any advice you would have?
I think just really relate it to your experience or like to your future plans, right? I think if I hadn't all the way through this, I've always related everything back to the industry I plan to teach. You know, it's easy to sit and talk about learning theories and instructing and all of that stuff, but if it doesn't relate to what you are actually going to do at the end of this, then it's not really going to have as much meaning for you. So every single project I've done, I'm sure all of the instructors and people that have participated are so sick of hearing about hairdressing classes, but that's what I'm going to teach. So that's sort of what I incorporated into everything I did through the program. So yeah,
Okay.
make
Yeah,
it personal, make it about you and what you want to get out of it in the future, I think would be my advice. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I just wanted to ask one more question, Crystal. Do you do online components to the hairdressing program?
I don't, not as of this point. I think it is definitely the way of the future. I am seeing more and more schools adding in that sort of blended learning style. So I definitely think it's something that's coming and that, you know, I am eventually going to have to look at doing. But as of this point, it's more in person. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for being a part of today.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
the end. I'm halfway through and I'll probably see you. Yeah. I'll see
Yeah,
you.
somewhere along the way, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Bye
good
now.
luck with everything and thanks for being here today.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.